Hello friends, my name's Kristen and I am using Zepbound to lose weight. Today will be my 4-month update and I'm going to talk about some things that have happened that I wasn't expecting on this journey so far, how much weight I've lost, how I'm feeling, side effects and all that. So let's get into it. Let's go over weight loss stats for month number 4. This has been a little challenging for me this month. The weight loss has slowed down tremendously, but just to recap, I started this journey at 205 and I, as of today, am 171.1. Yay! But that means I've only lost 2 pounds in the past month. Some bad habits have resurface. So I was thinking to myself that I was just at a weight stall, but I honestly think it's because I'm overeating. And you know, like people who get gastric bypass surgery, and my aunt had it done twice and she had the band and everything. So this is like a lifelong thing for her, but she gained the weight back multiple times because even though your stomach is smaller and on this GLP-1, it is stopping you from wanting to eat so much, or it makes you feel fuller faster. You can still stretch your stomach back out if you've had surgery or something like that by slow all day grazing. It's embarrassing for me to admit that I have been slow all day grazing. Initially, I was just eating meals and no snacks, but slowly at work, and I think I mentioned this in my 3-month video about sticking my hands in the top bowl at work, you know, because I work at a restaurant, for those of you that don't know. That has become a recurring theme, again, of me grabbing French fries and tater tots at work all day, especially if I didn't bring any food to work with me, especially if I'm not in the mood for a full meal. And that has become a problem. I say that to tell you that even on a medication that's supposed to be stopping me from wanting to eat, that physically stops me from eating a lot, I'm still somehow finding a way. And when people say this medication is the easy way out, yes, it does reduce your suffering a great deal. And yes, it is a massively important tool, incredible tool that has been developed. But it just goes to show that you still have to do what you're supposed to be doing. I still have to do what I'm supposed to be doing. Because what happens if I have to go off of it suddenly, or I can't take it anymore, or I decide to go off it? Am I just gonna slide right back into my old habits? It seems like that is the case. With disordered eating or EDs and stuff like that, it doesn't seem to matter how smart you are or how well adjusted you are as a person. Like, there still can be some underlying issues going on that your brain is a very powerful thing, honey. Every action satisfies a need. At work, I'm incredibly bored. It's been very slow. I work at an airport. They shut down like 2 gates in our terminal to do construction, and that's slowed down foot traffic to our restaurant, and it has been so boring. It has been so boring. Right now, I'm just trying to find a solution on how to curtail that and just snacking on stuff and not caring as much about my protein intake and not caring as much about fiber or anything like that. I've not been tracking. I don't want to obsessively track everything all the time, but as you can see, what happens if I do lighten up on myself, then I just slide right back into old habits. Not going to beat myself up about it. I haven't gained any weight, but the scale has not moved in weeks. I don't think it's just a weight stall though. Like, people hit like weight plateaus. I don't think mine's a plateau. I think I'm just overeating, you know, or maintaining my weight. And that's just the cold hard truth, people. Shit happens. We are just trying to move on and see what we can do to be better in the future. But as of today, or even as of yesterday, I was still grabbing French fries at work. I don't think fries are inherently like bad for you in small portions or anything like that, but me spending 20 years using them as a disgusting, debilitating vice, well, then that becomes a problem. I don't want to demonize food because that leads me to overeat. And it's psychotic. I know it's crazy. And some people may not even be able to grasp the concept of that, why people still eat bad on these medications, but it's like a lifelong problem and emotional and mental health issues, obviously, that even I possess, even though I seem well adjusted, right? Yes, I still am on the 2.5 milligram dose. And based on what I said about overeating, a lot of you might suggest that I move up to 5 milligrams, but there are a couple of reasons why I don't. I am afraid to move up of side effects. And a lot of people who jump to those, I mean, some people have no problem at all, but I have had some side effects. I'm afraid that moving to 5 milligrams might make me ill. Also, the cost. I pay $3.49 a month for the 2.5 milligram vials, and I still do get appetite suppression, not the full 7 days, but at least 3 or 4 days out of the week. And has that waned a little bit? Yes, but I still get no joint pain and all this stuff. And I really think it's just something I need to work on. 5 milligram vials cost $500 a month. And I just don't think financially I could afford that right now. A lot of people might suggest switching to compound, and I might, because you can get 3 months of something for like $500 with compound, but I'm just scared to switch to something that, because I get it straight from Lilly Direct. I get it straight from the company that manufactures and makes it, that created it. I guess I'm scared of a compound because I'm not sure what they're putting in that. And other people say that they're less effective. Now, there are many sites to get compound tirzepatide from and compound GLP-1s. And I would be very weary of a lot of those because I've seen on Reddit, some companies they talk about on there are just atrocious. And just do not fall for these GLP-1 scams, okay? And a lot of people talk about credible sources for compound tirzepatide. There's like a compound GLP-1 group, compound tirzepatide, compound semaglutide or semaglutide. I heard someone say that the other day and I was like, have I been saying semaglutide? We've all been saying it wrong. It's actually semaglutide, but I just don't like the way that sounds. It's like crudité. Semaglutide. I have a bit of semaglutide in my bag. Would you like some? Also this month I've tried on more clothes and done things like that, but I feel myself experiencing a lot of shame for what I've done to my body. I do talk about vanity on this channel. When I was younger and I was heavier, my skin would always bounce back. My face would bounce back.
I was once considered a great beauty.
But I am aging around having weight loss. I'm 38 years old. And I'm not saying that's old by any means. It's not. I'm starting to see that a lot. And my skin is, because I dropped weight so fast, I notice little things like, you know, like this, it really bothers me, or like your skin starts to get a little, you know, but that's also a normal part of aging. And so it's been a little difficult for me because like, it's nice to see my own face again. Now that I've lost weight, I can see, you know, the old me, but also a new version of me that is a little old. No matter what, aging catches up with all of us. Even if you age well into like your 60s and stuff, like it's still at some point it's going to catch up with you. Last time I was smaller, I was a lot younger. So, you know, it's been a little different, but I am trying to embrace the change, and I'm not against cosmetic procedures, filler, all that, but vanity can be a prison if you let it, to where it can become almost dysmorphic, like body dysmorphia, which I've experienced in the past. And I am experiencing that now. A lot of people have made comments about me losing certain assets now that I've dropped weight. But I'm going to say right now that because I'm a little older and a little more mature, I feel so good right now after dropping 30 plus pounds that like, I don't even care that much that certain parts of me, like my bum has disappeared a little bit. I used to be very large. I've stretched out my skin multiple times. People call it Ozempic, but you know, as you get older, things change. I'm wondering if you guys have that, you're going to try on clothes and stuff and you're feeling like, what have I done to myself? You know, the term, you can never go home again. That reminds me of that. Like, I can never be 20 years old again. And honestly, I don't want to be. I was a total idiot. Still am, but like a more mature idiot. I had moments where people say things to me, and because I'm kind of an open person, like it doesn't hurt my feelings, but I'm just kind of like felt a little insecure for a second. And then I was like, you know what, screw it. I feel so much better now. I'm more mobile in my body and stuff like that. And I don't feel pain like I did before because the medication takes away joint pain and things like that. So I am truly grateful for all that. And I need to remember how far I've come. It's just, I dropped weight really quickly. And I'm not even sure why. I've just hyper responded to the medication. And now the weight has slowed down a little bit because I'm closer to what I only had about 50, 60 pounds to lose, and I've already dropped half of that. So, you know, as you get closer to your like goal, your body is adapting and adjusting to that. I'm not upset that I haven't lost another 10 pounds this past month or two. Like, I think I needed it to slow down a little bit. It was going really fast, and my skin is not necessarily caught up all the way yet. So I'm okay with that as long as I don't gain it. Anyway, moving on. Scam products that I've seen lately, and I talk about this in a short. These stupid ass GLP-1 patches. Like, these piss me off so much. I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, I know they had to put policies in place because businesses would always like find a way to lie to people. Like, I'm going to say back in the Victorian times, they would put like sawdust in bread and sell it to you cheap. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't like anything that falsely promotes itself. These are, I mean, as I say in the short that I had, if you want to go and watch it, I'll just say it right here. here. Look how big they put the letters GLP-1 on here to make it seem like that it's going to work the same way. These are berberine patches or whatever they put in there. I'm not even sure berberine can be effective transdermally. You can get berberine cheaper than they're selling it here for 30 patches that might not even work, or for patches that might not even freaking work. So I'm just saying, if you wanted to try berberine, I'm not saying it works or it doesn't. I know it's used for blood sugar control and stuff like that, but it just makes me so uncomfortable. Don't like it. Don't like the cheap ass scams. I'm also going to say I have an issue with people always suggesting natural cures for stuff. I'm going to give you a little personal story, as every story is. When I was younger, I was in the very hardcore, like, vegan crowd. I was all into Freely the Banana Girl, the raw vegan diet, things like that. And I have asthma real bad, like severe. I have severe asthma, okay? It cannot be cured. There's no cure for asthma. And don't you dare put your natural cures down there. So I was convinced that I could cure myself naturally, and I didn't have to take a long-term steroid like someone like me with severe asthma has to, okay? And so I was so convinced of this that I ended up not taking my meds, and I was put on life support when I was 26 years old. And they had told me that they had just lost 2 girls the same day, 22 and 21 years old, the same day from asthma. It's really linked to my allergies personally, but I also have exercise-induced asthma, and I just like have every form of it. I'm just inflammation problems galore. And so ever since then, that was a huge wake-up call for me. My father has diabetes. He has type 2 diabetes. He drank 2 liters of Coca-Cola every day for decades, and because he never gained weight, he didn't really think it was a problem, even though his mother was type 1 diabetic. And you know, diabetes is hugely genetic. So one day he passes out in my neighbor's doorway because he was having a diabetic attack, and he went to the hospital and they said, you have to be on metformin or something, you know? And even now he refuses to take his diabetes medication, and he's taking berberine now. And all because he listened to things online. Metformin has been proven to improve longevity. So people are so scared of medicines and chemicals, but insulin is a miracle. And I know this drug is used for diabetes. It is an absolute miracle. Children were dying in the past without insulin. Asthma medication is a miracle. Way back when they would just use herbs or you just die. It's like maybe I shouldn't be around. Maybe it's all natural selection, but like literally people are just dropping dead from not having insulin and asthma medications. Okay. So when people try and sell you natural cures or GLP-1 patches with all this natural stuff in it and try and convince you that it works the same way, it can be truly dangerous for some people. My father, from not taking his medication, recently almost went blind, and he still won't take it. And that's on him. You know what I mean? I say all that to just be weary of these things, you know, like I know I say it in all my videos, but just don't fall for every little thing. I know at this point, if you're looking up this video and you're looking up Zepbound, you're not falling for the GLP-1 patches, I hope. I hope that maybe you've tried it and they did not work, but they're trying to convince you that it's like working in the same way this medication would, and that is not true. This does so much more than what you imagine. And people have a little understanding of GLP-1 hormone in general. The peptide found in the Gila monster, they mimicked that, and then they spun it up in a lab and realized it can work in humans, and it's freaking incredible. It's not the actual venom itself, it's just an imitation of the peptide in the venom, just so you know. And my coworker who told me I was just injecting lizard venom into my veins, she came up to me the other day and she's like, I had a dream that you stopped taking it, that you told me you stopped taking it. And I was like, no. And also, why do you care? Why do you care? Speaking of my coworkers, the never-ending coworker saga, 1 or 2 of them have started taking the medication. One girl I work with, she has not changed her diet at all and has barely lost any weight on. And I saw her eating a bunch of if I eat a lot of fried food on this, my stomach is really upset, or I'll have gastrointestinal problems later. And she was like, I think I'm gonna stop taking it. My stomach hurts. But she had a whole 6-piece chicken tender and fries. I'm not judging people. I don't want to judge her for what she's eating. I just thought to myself, that's probably what's making her stomach hurt. Now, I've already given enough advice. If she asks me something, I try not to insert myself too much because I don't want to be a know-it-all, even though I am. But I don't want to do that. I want her to make her own decisions. And And if she wants my help, then she'll ask, you know. But the rest of you who are here with me, well, here I am giving advice to you. But this is because you're looking it up. You know what I mean? You're looking it up and you're curious. So, by the way, I love you guys. So, also, a lot of people, once they find out I'm on a weight loss journey, that I'm taking a drug, because they've all noticed now, they want to give me their weight loss advice to function without it. Let me tell you that heavier people, before they go on this drug, they already know everything they're supposed to be doing. It's not like you don't know. You're just fighting yourself to do all that stuff. It's not like I don't know I'm supposed to be doing. And they have a very little understanding of even building muscle most of the time. And a lot of people just listen to the same kind of bulky advice that they hear. But it's not as simple as all that. I used to think it was that simple too, but as eat less and move more, but it's just not that simple. It really isn't. Especially when we're being assaulted with constant advertisements for food. A lot less of us cook these days. I definitely hate cooking still, as I've mentioned many times. I'm going to tell you who I do like, though, for food advice. I like Madeline Raskin, I think. Madeline. I'm going to put her thing right here. I've tried a couple of her recipes. Like, she makes cooking really easy. A ton of videos on that. Here's my issue with it, though, is that obviously this works for her, right? She's a fitness person. Eating large portions works for her. My issue with it, even if they're low calorie and high density nutrition foods that fill you up really fast, it still puts you in a bad habit of eating large portions. So let's say like you're eating these huge portions of food, even if they're vegetables and stuff. I find myself eating more because I'm trying to eat the large portions and I'm pushing my stomach past the limit, even though like it fits into my calories and protein for the day. Like I'd say I take her meals and I cut them throughout the day so I can eat them, you know. But even grazing is a bad habit. Even eating like just eating all day is like not a good habit, because what happens is like you'll eat these large portions of even vegetable dense foods, like, you know, nutrient dense, low cal foods, high protein. But then you go to eat a regular meal, like let's say a pizza, and then you're eating the whole pizza because you're used to eating these huge portions. So I like her content. I really do. I think she gives great advice. She's very funny. She's very weird. Like girly, I fucking love that. She's not afraid to be herself. Refreshing fitness influencer, in my opinion. But I think I know a lot of people have big appetites and they do need to eat more, especially if you're working out. But in the habit of eating large portions, for me, is a problem for me personally. And that's just me projecting, I guess, like, because I find myself pushing my stomach past the limit to eat these larger portions. And that is my own issue. But that's my only thing where I'm like, okay, well, teaching people to eat large portions can kind of backfire if they go to eat regular food later and they're just used to eating all this big amounts of food. But I do like the message. I do like that it's nutrient dense food. I love that she eats so much squash. I love squash. I think it's underrated. But, you know, I don't know if you know what I'm saying here, but like, I do think her content's great. It's worth promoting. She's great. I just think that the large portion thing, that works for her. She works out a lot. Just remember that. But for me, if I eat a bunch of large portions, then I'll just continue to eat large portions no matter what the food is. That's what I mean. So if you know what I'm saying, you hear me? I think when I do a 6-month update, I'm going to show me all together, you know, the progression. Because like sometimes it's hard to tell, right? Like it's hard to tell because you see yourself every day. Sorry, this is so shaky. My camera has a gimbal on it and I just don't have it. But I don't have time to do this video later this week, and I wanted to get it done because like I'm already halfway through the 5th month now. And sometimes you forget what the hell you even wanted to talk about. Good memory, girlies. I did do a video on sagging skin and stuff, but I didn't like it. I feel like it was so boring. I'm just like yammering on and on and on, and I'm not even a professional, so I felt like the video was too boring. I'm gonna refilm it. I do make some good points, but I don't want to sound like a complete drolling on idiot who thinks they know everything. Who, me? Never. So, you know, I'm gonna redo that. I promise I'll post that. I've been saying that every time. I appreciate you all so far. You all have been great. All the comments have been great. Everyone's been so supportive, unlike my real life where people are not. But I really don't care. I try and live my life authentically and do what it is that's best for me as much as I can. You've all been wonderful, and I guess today's emoji to drop in the comments to see if you've made it this far. Let's drop an egg. Drop an egg in the comment. I've been eating a lot of eggs lately and I freaking love them. Eggs are definitely good, high in protein, very filling. I know there was like a bunch of smear campaigns on cholesterol years ago, but once again, people not fully understanding science and things like that. Drop that egg. Drop that egg. Drop that egg down below. And also let me know if you've seen K-pop Demon Hunters, because that movie is amazing and I cannot stop singing the songs from it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. See ya in the next video. Bye-bye.